And I just wanted to stop talking so you could hear the salute that officers are doing as this officer is going to now, fallen officer will ride by fellow colleagues here. I don't know if you saw it, guys, but the van has just taken a turn down a back ramp into the backside of the Milwaukee County Medical Examiner's office, and then the rest of this procession will make their way around the building. So,
yes, Ben, we did see that.
It should be noted, guys, this has been a record year for police pursuits in the city of Milwaukee. We are on pace to just smash any kind of numbers we've ever seen before. The chief saying earlier that this officer died after pursuing someone who was a reckless driver. In April, there were 253 police pursuits in Milwaukee. Last year combined, there were about 350. So we are going to smash that record. A lot of that having to do with a policy change that happened last year against the former police chief's wishes. Milwaukee officers were allowed now to chase more cars. This happening after we just have an epidemic of cars fleeing. We're now seeing some of the doors open, and I believe this is some of the senior staff who's arriving here at the Milwaukee County Medical Examiner's office.
Indeed, Ben, we saw the motorcycle officers dismount their bikes, and now we're seeing the very first squad cars pulling up that have stopped with members of the police force getting out. As we looked at that procession as it was heading toward you, it was a very long procession. We are seeing just sort of the tip of the iceberg here.
Yeah, Brad, it's so long that they could not all fit on 9th Street where we're parked here. We're now seeing some of the motorcycle officers arrive and get into a line here, and just a solemn moment out here as they're gathering. I would assume that the police chief is among this procession. I have not yet seen him on scene. He may be in one of these cars that's right behind, but yeah, this you would assume some of the senior members of the police department.
And we pointed out earlier that it was members who were able to come that were on duty, but also off-duty officers got that call to pay their respects. And this is really the show of unity, Ben, as you know, is really brothers in blue. This is what it's all about. It's just like when a fallen soldier is remembered. They're brothers out there. There's a unity. Now, this is a young man who had only been on the force for 4 years. However, we see the camaraderie and the fellowship and, of course, the unity that they are all standing together. And you can only imagine how they feel right now. Our hearts are heavy. This is one of their own. A very, very solemn time for them.
And that goes far beyond just this police department. We're seeing messages of words of support and sadness coming from around the state and country. Some of the first I saw, just some of our suburban departments from Greendale, Glendale, Germantown. These are departments who work with the Milwaukee Police Department so frequently, and tonight they're all grieving together.
Looks like we saw a little earlier the honor guard arriving there along with all the people that you had mentioned. And I'm sure everybody at home has noticed some of the officers there were dressed in their formal wear. They got that call and immediately they were able to, pay their respects in the way that, they do in a formal situation. They put on their uniforms, and some, of course, in plain clothes, presumably off duty, but just a real show of reverence.
Yeah, and a reminder, we're blocks away from the police administration building. A lot of these people coming because they are on duty. It's 9 o'clock at night, and these are the kinds of people who are at work right now, keeping our city safe. So some of the people you're seeing in plain clothes, they're not necessarily in a uniform. Those are some of the detectives that work over nonstop throughout the night. This is a tough job, and Brett Lemoyne was saying it earlier at Freighter. He was talking to a member of the police department who says, this is the kind of day that is in the back of your mind every day when you go to work, and our city has not experienced this in 22 years. That is the last time a Milwaukee police officer died in the line of duty. It's a dangerous job, and obviously we report on a lot of the things they do here, but this was an incident today at 76 in Silver Spring where a young officer, someone who'd just been a police officer for 2 years, been a police aide for 2 years before that, in a pursuit of a vehicle that was they were trying to stop for reckless driving, but the police officers now gathering, it seems, in a semicircle here, showing their support for the officer who's inside the Milwaukee County, the fallen officer's inside the Milwaukee County Medical Examiner's office now.
Ben, thank you. A sobering and sad reminder of the dangers of that job. You'll stay there. We'll be coming right back. We're going to send it to a commercial break right now.